Welcome to the second episode. Oh, I'm still in pain, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to see the doctor on Tuesday to find out has this stupid stone left my body or not. I can't stand it, but breathe. I'm professional. This is Booking the Wrestler, and this is episode 2 of Daniel Bryan. The first episode just talks about him coming back and being put on NXT. He acts awkward because he's a wrestler posing as a general manager and doesn't want to do it. So this is what happens. He spends about 6 months on NXT. That leads from the end of 2015 into early 2016. So around what's now being done. This is February 7th. This is when this is being made. So around this time, he's now promoted from working NXT general manager, and William Regal would have came back after his neck injury because he actually had a legitimate problem with his neck. He had that sucker fixed, and right now he's still out. But let's say William Regal goes back to NXT, and now Daniel Bryan goes to SmackDown. Daniel Bryan will find himself very angry for the simple reason as he worked on NXT, NXT gave him more ability to give him something compelling. He could actually book the matches. Even though he didn't show a lot of appearances, whenever he was there, it was so relevant and special that every time when he appeared, the people would chant, "Yes! Yes! Daniel Bryan!" And that is what he loved. That at least he can't wrestle, he would still have some relevance in the company. When he moves to SmackDown, WWE and Vince himself does not give him that. He's stuck in the back. He has to do the announcements on the Titantron. Whenever he comes out to the ring, there's always going to be a Stephanie there, there's always going to be a Vince there, and there's always going to be a Triple H there saying, "You're not doing a bad job, kid. Just keep doing the job, but you know you're really not that great at this. We're going to help you when you have to come and do these announcements." And then they do the announcements without letting him talk. He gets angry and angrier and angrier until he's promoted to Raw. Now there's a reason why I'm doing it like this, because they'll be showing this. They'll be showing his progression rage as it goes on. He'll still do his job because he needs the money. He'll still see his wife Brie, who can see that he's getting angry. And I wish to say on my last videos with Damien Sandow, I apologize. I kept getting Brie and Nikki mixed up. It's hard not to get them mixed up. But anyway, when it came to Brie, she progressively sees how enraged he kept getting. And by the time he hits Raw, and Nikki comes back from her neck surgery, that seems to be a very strong tone of WWE in real life. There's a lot of people with neck injuries. You got William Regal, you got Nikki Bella, you got Daniel Bryan, you got, oh man, you got Tyson Kidd, and probably a couple other people we don't know about. They're not really taking care of their talent, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, by the time he reaches Raw, they do the same thing, and he gets so sick after 2 months of it, he says to Triple H, "Send me back to NXT." And he says, "Why? You're not going to make the same money." He said, "At least I get more respect. I want respect. And particularly that is your brand that you've been promoting, and he does real life shoot. I feel like your brand will give me something better than Vince's brand." Now, I'm saying this because a lot of people realize that Triple H has run this company, the territorial brand, NXT, way better than Vince ever had in the last 9 years? 8? That's kind of stretching a little bit. I'd say about 8 years. The company has done very bad when it comes to their booking. So I'm just going by that premise. So when it comes to this situation, Triple H gets offended. But he realizes he's right. And he says, "You know what? You want to go, you can go. I'll give you the respect you deserve." And Vince gets angry at him. Because on that Raw, Vince comes to Triple H and says, "Why'd you send him back?" He says, look, NXT is not doing very well with William because his neck is still giving him issue. We were going to need to replace him anyway, so let him go back. I'd rather see someone I know that can handle the business than leave it like this. So when it comes down to this, he returns to NXT. Triple H actually starts spending more time at NXT. That we more than we normally see him as. Of course, we always see him as a face. But in this case, they do backstage segments between Triple H and Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan says to Triple, he says, Hunter, dude, why do you stay on Raw? Why do you stay on SmackDown? Why don't you stay here with me? You know as well as I do, you get much better pops here. You get more control over here. You get more creativity here. Raw sucks. He literally says this. This is what the YWC and IWC have been complaining for a long time. They don't really get it. And Triple H says, I can't do that. You know I can't. My wife and my father-in-law is not going to accept that. I'm proud of this brand. I've been doing this myself from what I've learned being in this company for so many years. But you know what? I got to be there. And he says, and this is Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Paul. He acts real. He says, Paul, let me do something here. I want to be a wrestler, but let's be honest. We need a company that works. And this one's not working. Work with me to figure a way to get NXT more publicity. Other than being a territorial brand. And he says, what are you talking about? He's saying, let's break away. Let me break away with NXT. Help me to find a way to get NXT separated from WWE. Let's go to court. Let's break it away. Help me to do this. And Triple H does. So what would happen? WWE would have mocked court appearances that everyone would see Triple H on one side with Daniel Bryan and Vince and Stephanie on the other side. The only reason that Triple H is with Daniel Bryan is because he has to be a character witness. And we would do 2 months of this. We would have it shown on SmackDown. We'd have it shown on Raw. We would even show it on the pay-per-views at the kickoff show. And I'm not talking about replays of previous ones. We're talking about new segments every time. So we saw something on Raw. We won't show that same segment on Raw. We'll show the next segment on SmackDown. So that would give SmackDown something entirely different. Instead of a repeat of Raw, it's an entirely different segment. Then when it came to the pay-per-views, you could do a replay on the kickoff show then. A replay of Raw and a replay of SmackDown. You could actually use that in between what's been going on each show that actually would give it more promotion, actually give it something more interesting. And then when you go from there, keeping it from Raw and SmackDown, you show on the website of NXT exclusive, showing things that you normally not see on Raw, SmackDown, or the pay-per-view, something that's even more intimate in the back as Paul Levesque and Daniel Bryan strategize on how they're going to break NXT away from WWE. And this is what I would do for Daniel Bryan. So I hope you enjoyed this Booking the Wrestler. Please give me a comment below. My third and final one may be much longer than this one because I want to try and tidy this up because Zach Gowen will be included in this storyline. I want to give it more fleshing out. So have a good day and have a good night. Peace!